Yeah,
Aloha. How are you, Pramika? Hello.
yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Are we live right now?
Yeah, we are on live now. And welcome to
Okay,
the Global
awesome.
Virtual Summit 2026, Kimberly.
Okay, okay, great. So may I start my presentation? Did you want to introduce me first?
Yeah, please give me a minute. I will introduce you to our audience.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. How's the lighting? Okay? Everybody good?
Kimberly Cano, known as Natasha Brune, is a C-suite executive, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and non-profit founder who transforms adversity into leadership. After overcoming trauma, addiction, and an incarceration, she rebuilt her life and rose to executive leadership across multiple industries. Through her Wise Mary literary universe, consulting work, and the Aloha Jigsaw Foundation, she integrates storytelling, strategy, and youth empowerment, proving that the past does not disqualify you, it defines you. That is a great note, Kimberly, and the stage is all yours.
Aloha. Welcome, everyone. Can I get an aloha in the chat? I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. I grew up on Maui, Honolulu, or on Oahu, and the island of Kauai. I live in Colorado. I'm streaming from Colorado right now. I've lived here for 12 years. And I can tell you this much. I'm going to get right into it. It's going to be raw. It'll be raw and a little rigid. It's amazing. I'm standing up talking to you today. And I say that with emotion in my voice because, as I said, it's going to get rough. We have Christians in here. This might be good for you to explain in your church um, exactly what can happen if you make wisely made bad choices, which is where the name the Wise Marie came from. So I'm Kim Kano, also known as Natasha Broom. That is my pen name because I was hiding behind that name when I decided to write my story during the COVID lockdown. Okay, the Wise Marie. And it is called the Wise Marie Paradise Edition. And I implore you to check it out on my website, thewisemarie.com, because there's an Audible available now. And I have some promo codes for people in the UK and the United States, all 50 states and territories, who can get a free copy of this Audible. Okay, and listen to it in your vehicle. Careful for chapters 9 and 10. um, I'll say this right now, yes, I'm in a custom suit. I'm in my custom made studio, but not that long ago, decades ago, actually, but seems like yesterday, I got taken down by the SWAT team. Before that, a year before getting taken down, I ripped my own shoulder out of my own socket and detached it from the rest of my body when I had an overdose in front of a girl, and we'll call her T, in the backseat of a T-Bird, as a matter of fact. And so I'm a recovered addict from 1996. I was a meth head, and I don't like using that term. I used ice. We called it ice back then, meth. I hung around with thieves, mostly the violent guys, hitmen, union people, gangsters, nice people. They're really, really meant to be guides when you're going through life as well. Okay. So I will say this, and I'll start off as a little girl. Obviously, I wasn't this way, right? Or that way. I was born in a family that I didn't know was going to raise me as their own or half of their own. Because until I was 48 years old, I found out that at that time I found out that I had a different father. And so I went around telling everyone, growing up as a little girl and throughout life until 48 years old, I was German Japanese. And I am Japanese, but I'm not German. Not 1% of German. I'm Italian. And I'm proud to say that my father, my biological father, and my father who raised me, both of them were very good people, no matter what their demons were. And my biological father happens to be, he's the first gen author. I'm the second gen author. And so I never understood where this writing came from, you know? And I apologize about the sounds if you hear the pinging. I didn't get a chance to turn that off. So just bear with me, okay? And if any of you would like to know how to reach me, I'm going to have all of this at the end, but I'm going to tell you this now. I was once someone who was a derelict, okay? C-suite level executive, that wasn't me. I was homeless, I was broken, and I was getting my ass kicked over and over because time and time again, I'm attracted to that energy where I feel compelled to help someone who's suffering with their demons, and I have my own. And so that being said, just up until like a few days ago, I was being abused by a family member, you know. And so this has really taken some turns, and I had my whole speech. You know how you have your talk? My talk is AITFA, and it's exactly who I want to speak with today. Women, men, I don't care what you identify, who you identify as. If you're an executive and you're either getting your ass kicked by a family member, a boyfriend, a husband, a boss, you're free and you don't need to take it anymore because we're better than that, okay? No matter what. No matter how much they're paying you, no matter how good looking they are, that's who I'm looking for. I'm looking to help women who know they're empowered, they know they can cross over, and they show up every day, but there's this limiting belief that holds them back, you know? And so from C-suite level executive, and we reverse, well, who am I? I already told you who I am, what I'm up to, what I've done. I'm a consultant, I'm a business consultant, C-suite level executive. I help small business owners organize their back office. What do I mean by that? Employees, administration, human resources, laborers. I've made multi-millions, and I was a crackhead. Multi-millions for people. And if Scott Frazier's listening, he's a real live person who could give a testimonial. I helped him for over 17 years of my life, post-addict, post-prison, and made him millions and made myself a pretty good fortune to take care of my family and embark on a very successful real estate career. And so I will say this, you can look me up on LinkedIn, all the professional information is there, but truly, who am I? Yes, I've been featured in all of those magazines if you go and look now. Why did I do that? Well, that was a visibility campaign because no one knew who I was. I went and visited a Hollywood producer a couple of years ago with Peggy McCall, my friend and mentor. She's a best-selling New York Times best-selling author. She's a friend of mine. And I went on one of her programs with Phil Goldfine. And they looked at me and they knew there was just something holding me back, right? The name, the Natasha Brune, all of those things. And they said, who the heck? He said, Phil said, who the heck's Kim Kano? If you're going to pitch Warner Brothers or Hollywood or Canada, you know, film studios or whomever, they don't know who Kim Kano is. They don't know who Natasha Brune is. And you have to write the story so it takes place in Hawaii, not in New York. So if you go and look at me online, a lot of people go right to Amazon. Don't go to Amazon because they take 55%. It's just buy the book off the website so I can give back to the nonprofit. Okay. But I want to hear in the chat from all of you. Give me a quick aloha if you're from Hawaii. I can't really see here, but I want it in the chat because I'll get a copy of the chat later. And I want to know if you're from Colorado or the Global Speakers University, any one of the groups and communities I belong to. Maybe you're an old friend from the past and there's all these gaps. You don't know what happened. You know, you look at online, you look at the pictures of me being in the magazine. I did that for visibility so people would know, looking in, not just for a Hollywood producer, but anyone I'd like to work with. Who's this person, right? I'm not going to go put up a picture of me with a black eye from the past or my neck getting choked to show I've survived. But yes, once again, I'm surprised I'm standing here. Seriously. I have a permanent dent in my head that no matter how much makeup, I don't even care anymore. And it's here. Okay. And that was the one time I got pummeled to the ground. Like the coyote on the Roadrunner, I'm dating myself. Okay. This big the lump was, my sister said, who pulled me off the ground and looked at me and said, "Why are you staying with this man? Why are you wasting your time and your energy and pouring it into a man who doesn't love you? He doesn't love your children, and he could care less about whether or not you're dead or alive. And he's beating you to death physically, right? Mentally, socially, emotionally. So to come from all of that, right? The drugs, like I said, I went to prison, I went to rehab. 3.5 years I lived in there. It's a long time to give up. People say, in rehab, they say, no, it's not. It was an investment in my time. And it was the start of who I am today. So if there are any addicts, put it in the chat if you feel brave enough, because who cares, right? We're in an era where we can tell the truth. Who's an alcoholic? Who is a binge drinker? Who takes too many pills because they're in pain because they had back surgery? All those addictions, that's not where the core issue lies. It lies in your thinking and in your mindset. Because you can go ahead and turn like this light I'm looking here. I can turn the light switch off like Vicky Marino from Habilitat told me, or I can turn it on. And it is that simple. But and let me see in the chat if you folks agree, it's difficult to stand up and be brave and turn that light switch off so you don't have to be that dark person, right? Or you don't have to be brave and show up every day and you can just go get a regular job. For me, and I'm not putting that down, so please don't take that in any wrong way, okay? Being a W-2 employee is terrific if that's what you love. I am unable to be a W-2 employee because I have a message and a story to share. I have lives to save, a nugget to give to someone who's willing to take it. And I have a great nonprofit. I'm building a school for fire impacted kids so I can build more of me. My husband, who's also a recovered addict, never went to prison, and he's a very successful software engineer. My business partner, James Salas from Valor Construction in Colorado, same thing. Been through the same life as me, multi-millions he's made. Why? Because it's the light switch. You put your mind to it and you do it. And yes, it seems very simple and there's more to it than that. But once you make your mind up that you're going to stop getting abused, you're going to stop picking up the pipe or the cigarette if you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, or the vape, whatever's your vice. Maybe you're a sex addict. Maybe you're addicted to a guy that's horrible for you. Maybe your marriage isn't where it really, all these things, right? We ourselves, as one of my most favorite mentors, Bob Proctor says, we, you, we, me, we are our only solution and we are our only problem, right? No one had a gun to my head and said, get beat up and stay with this guy over and over again, or get sexually assaulted and not know how to get out of that predicament. You go into situations and we don't use our intuition. And that's going to bring me to my talk, okay? IPFA, pronounced IPFA, from people from Hawaii. They know IPA surf. That's not where this came from. This stands for anything is possible for all. I am not, as you can see, an Ivy League educated female in today's world. But I'll tell you right now, I'll sit at a board meeting or at a table with her, him, whatever they identify as, and they could have went to Harvard, Princeton, Georgetown University. Doesn't matter. We're all the same. We're all the same color. Okay? Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're darker than me, lighter than me, yellower than me. We're all the fucking same. Excuse my French. That's there for emphasis, okay? We're all the same here. And we're living in a world right now where we have to put our shields up, soldier up like Wonder Woman. Why? Because there's evil out there. We have to learn AI. We have to learn how to mess with the lights. I was messing around with lights instead of just logging in and talking to Pramika, who invited me to talk. My intuition told me, Kim, you should do that. Did I listen? No. And it's little things like that that could snowball into a much bigger problem, much larger problem. So the talk, AIPFA, AIPFA, anything. What's the A for? It's not really for anything. Yes, it is, but deeply, it's awareness. Do you have self-awareness? I know sometimes I have to reevaluate myself 20 times in a day because I might want to make a decision, whether it's business, family. I mean, I found my mom the other day downstairs in a pool of milk because she tripped over the Stanley steamer hose and shouldn't have been walking around with a bowl of cereal, and she's 93 and a half. And I thought she had a stroke. And I ran downstairs, and that was the divine talking to me and telling me, this is the only type of career you can have because of her. And it's better because then I can spend time with her. So what did I do? Everyone, she's going to Hawaii because she didn't have a stroke. But I was so scared, got her to the emergency room and they wanted to medicate me. I was spazzing. I was having the panic attack. She didn't break a bone. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Not one thing. She had a small hematoma that's gone. My husband helped ice it down. Her tailbone hurts, so she's sitting on a hemorrhoid pillow, loving life. And she's gnarly as can be. She's off-putting. She's from a different era. She took care of World War II soldiers who protected the Olawalo Pier. She fed them every day, 3 times a day from my grandmother. They did the laundry for these people. Yes, my Auntie Ihara, my Grandma Yamaguchi charged 50 cents a piece. 2 socks were 25 cents each. 1932, my mom's born, so 1941. People don't realize Pearl Harbor was bombed. It didn't just go away the next day. The people on Maui suffered. They always suffer on Maui. It's this weird vortex. We'll get back to that later. But mom was there for 23 months, taking care and grew up with these soldiers who slept against a fence. We gave them shelter. My grandfather dug a hole. He let them shower with the hose because we weren't supposed to let them in. And we fed them every single day, chicken heka, beef stew, Ichiki store, what is now known as Olawalo store on Maui, on Maui, Lahaina side. My mother would go there, walk or on her bike, if they shared bikes because they were poor, right? Plantation workers. And she would sign, okay, for food, right? That was the time. Look at where we're at now. Most of us can't even afford to buy a pack of bacon, right? Because it's like, of course I can, but we don't want to spend $12 on a pack of bacon. So getting back to awareness, where are you at in your life where you can channel what's important and what you need to be spending your time with? What's the I for? Intuition. Use your intuition. What is an example? I gave you one earlier. I'll give you a better example. Several years ago, deep inside, and when I was in rehab, I was told, don't go open Pandora's box and try and be this mom to those children that you left behind when you're a drug addict. That's what Vicky Marino told me from Habilitat. Not because she was being mean. At the time, I thought, why is she picking on me? Why is she telling me this? Because it was Pandora's box. And did I listen to my intuition? No. I opened all 3 boxes up of all 3 children of the corn with a K. Separate video, separate story. I'm still here. The last one was a doozy, the last child who's 32 years old. But I'm alive. My car might not be anymore. It's gone now. I had to give him a house and leave every single acacia bikini and shoes from Spain. And who gives a shit? Because I can't take those things with me. I left hundreds of thousands of dollars to these children. Not individual, well, to him, yes. To the other one about, yes, we will save for 2. The other, no, not quite. But we're done. And that's a chapter, and we wish them well, but that's intuition. My gut told me, no bueno, no. Don't be opening up the whole farm and giving it away to make up for what you did. That never helps anything. That doesn't teach shit. That's the I. What's P? Potential. You have potential. Please type in the chat. Potential. Who has potential? Who has potential? I don't care if you're someone who's making 6 figures a year. I don't care if you're making more than 6 figures a year. Is your life all together? Do you feel that you're using your potential to its fullest? I know I'm not, because I was too busy getting derailed by, I was getting my ass kicked again after decades of not having it. And I allowed it to happen. And this isn't to throw anyone under the bus. This is to say, I have horrifying pictures I took of myself while I was crying and going through all this abuse in the last few years. And you know what I told myself? You got to keep going. You can't give up. You have to take care of mom. I point that way because she's upstairs. You have to take care of your husband. Take care of your animals. You have to take care of your other son who loves you. My 4th son who's not like that. You have to take care of the people who you work with and who you have obligations with and responsibilities with. And you just have to keep going, like the bear says on his TV show, The Bear, on Hulu, the chef. And so that right there, you have potential. You have so much potential. Don't ever feel in your darkest hour that you're not a winner, okay? Now, I know my slides might not be following the whole IPFA thing, but it's there for your entertainment too. The slide that's up right now, that is the land we bought, the view of the almost 3-acre lot that my husband and I paid, sold our rentals last year, and bought the land for the Aloha Jigsaw Foundation first campus. Why is it in Colorado and not Maui? Because I called, I emailed, I did so many things with the government, and I'm not going to even point fingers, and I'm from Hawaii. And it's not the time to work with anybody there because they just don't see the vision. So I like to prove people wrong. This is what I do. I know it's not but it's a way where I don't give up. And I prove to people, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm building a school, a multi-million-dollar school, probably like a 13, James, my partner, he's lead construction teacher. He's VP of construction and development for the Aloha Jigsaw AJF, and he's going to teach at the academy. What are we going to do at the academy in this $13.5 million facility? Well, first of all, we're going to teach the basics of where's your mind at? What do you want to learn instead of having, and this is no down on college. Okay, this is not in lieu of, this is a choice. Maybe you have ADHD like me, and you don't want to go to a 7 or 8 year college because you want to expedite, because we're not guaranteed a tomorrow, as Dr. Cheryl says. Cheryl Wood, one of my mentors. We're not guaranteed a tomorrow. So if you want to expedite that, you can come to our school, and we're going to make it so you're fully sponsored if you are a fire impacted victim of a fire from Maui or Hawaii in general. Maybe it happened on another island, but we all know Maui suffered and it's still suffering. It's not rebuilt yet. I don't know if many of you know that. It's not about only the banyan tree. The people's lives were, people committed suicide, domestic abuse, starving, lost everything. We want those kids. We want teenagers who survive that, and we want them to write to us with a 7-line poem and a 250-word essay. It's on the website, alohajigsawfoundation.org, putting it back together one piece at a time. In order to become a finalist, to be fully sponsored. What's being fully sponsored? Well, we'll fly them up if they're from Maui. We'll dorm them. We'll make sure they're safe. We'll teach them how to cook if they don't know how to cook, or they'll cook with us. We're not doing culinary because that takes a different license and something else, but At the end of the day, we're going to have ohana, family. That's what that means, okay, in Hawaii. We're going to sit down, we're going to have meals together. We're only positive vibes come into our body. We're going to have an event center. It's going to be so many things there. But truly, it's going to be an academy to pump out more people like my husband, James, all the graduates who are successful from the Habilitat program, people who have, lived like Zigman and Emil, who they're my friends with, they're in a community, they run sober houses for all these guys in Montrose, Colorado. It's like that. That's what we're doing. Why? Because if you take away all the AI, you take away your cell phones and technology, are you going to be able to survive if you're from the 90s and navigate without a GPS? I know I could. I'll get across America, Europe. I don't give a shit where I am. I will find my way out because I have been in those situations where I'm like, 70s, 80s, we didn't have the TomTom. We didn't have the GPS on the iPhone or the Waze or whatever. We didn't even look at maps. In Hawaii, you had to memorize what mango tree had the broken branch, or the mumu house on the the house that's like bus up or whatever on the corner and it's painted blue. And we navigated through life like that. We didn't have a phone. Give me in the chat who's from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, maybe mid 90s. You were born, maybe even before that. We're living in a crazy world. It's total recall, totally the Jetsons. My mom's, every day she comes out, she's like, I feel like I'm in an episode of the Jetsons. It is. Rosie, they've got Rosies running around in Japan. Like, think about it, right? And you have to get on board and learn it. Do you think I want to be learning Claude Code? It's the next level chat GPT. You think I want to learn about all this? No, but I have to because my business won't run. I won't run. My business, it will stay still. Okay, so potential for all. What is the F for? Forget the past, because that's crap, even if it was 5 minutes ago. Proctor's principles, they're my main mentors right now. And they have been for a couple years, but huge. The past is crap. I don't care if you killed someone, it's done. You served your time. If you're still doing shenanigans, then of course it doesn't apply. Don't get overwhelmed with the future, okay? Forget about all that. That's the F. Forget about that. And we focus only on the present. I'm not being a hippie. Here, I got this. I'm not being a little hippie, okay? I'm letting you know the present is not a gift. It is a gift actually to us, but it's so that we stay focused on what really matters, laser focused, or else you don't get anything done. If you're sitting there thinking, woe is me, all my whole retirement, everything I've worked for my 30s and 40s went to kids who, were mean to me, right? It's not only, I'm not a victim. Like I said, nobody had a gun to my head, right? What's the A for? Always be grateful. What does my sign say up here? You can't really see it, but I look at it every day I'm in my studio and it says, grateful for the small things, for the big things, and everything in between. Everything. You don't wake up and practice gratitude. That is the key. It's one of the laws of the universe. You're going to fail. Epic fail. When you're in a negative vibration, maybe you're like, I can't do this anymore. I think I'm going to get a divorce. I can't do this anymore. I think I want to kill myself and jump off this bridge. I think I'm just going to stay here and be miserable in my job. No. Pick yourself up, be in the present, and know I'm brave. I can do this. I'm going to get through this. This is just a fleeting thought, and I'm living in the present, and I'm going to start writing in my gratitude journal. Some people do lists. I'm grateful for my cat, my dog, you can do that. But as you learn mindset training, it's better to journal and keep going until the pen stops, runs out of ink, your hand gets tired, carpal tunnel sets in, right? Why? Because it's a way to heal. I'm a writer. I write great content. I could sit in a room and blue sky it with movie people, any movie person who didn't have ideas, and I could come up with stories up the wazoo. Why? Because my imagination's in color. I see in color. And I was told I was dumb, stupid, couldn't keep still, fat, ugly. My eyebrows don't line up. Eyebrows aren't supposed to fucking line up, okay? Can you believe that? Oh, they're not supposed to be symmetrical. If they're symmetrical, then they're fake, bitch, okay? So don't listen to the naysayers, because all those people, okay, who do that, inside, they could be a hater, they could be jealous, they could be whatever. Don't tell people your inner goals. You don't need to tell everybody. Even though I'm all over, social media, all the channels. My inner goals inside, I keep them protected with the details, because I can't let that other energy in, okay? So let's recap again. IPFA, pronounced like IPFA. Anything is possible for all. I don't care what color, how old, how young, if you have a disability, if you don't, if you graduated from an Ivy League school but you got raped by your father, and you have to pretend that everything's okay because it's the right thing to do. I don't give a shit. We're all the same. And once you break down all those walls, people, and you tell yourself, I can do anything, okay? And this was a powerful statement that was told to me when I first started this mindset training. 2015, I heard, if you can see it in your mind, by Bob Proctor. I went to a live event. I went to the ABCs of Success, and I met Bob Proctor, the Bob Proctor, the only time I met him. And I have been studying his work. I was listening to him this morning about winner's image. Why? Because I looked at myself and I said, I put my eyelash on backwards. Who's gonna care, right? Who cares? Do you care? I know I don't care. I'm here. My story is about me. It's not for me. It's for anyone that wants to listen and pull a nugget or two, because I've been there. I've been there. I told you. Let's recap again. IPFA. Anything's possible for all. How can someone who was a complete mess, basket case, train wreck, near death so many times, even up until like not that recently. I mean, snowmobile fell on me, and luckily my friend flew off. I was driving it, and I could have got cut in half, and the snow was really powdery, and I just sunk, and there was a gap, and I was able to crawl out. Why am I here? Ask myself that all the time. Like right now, you wouldn't even know I just had massive shoulder surgery. January 7th. Totally shredded. It was the second time I had to get it fixed. Second time. So how can someone who ended up on an emergency room table at the Queen's Hospital, knew Dr. Goto, he knew me by my first name, how can I be here? I overdosed how many times? And yes, most of them were connected with the rape, the sexual assault. I was sexually assaulted because I would put myself in dangerous situations with dangerous people so I could get the dope. I did. They called me a tease on the street, and that I deserved it because I never put out. So truly, people can say, oh, she was a slut, but to be honest with you, not really. That's why I got sexually assaulted. So how can someone like that be down and out? Pramika, please warn me if I'm going over time, because I didn't put my timer on. I don't like putting the timer on. But how can we go from that to where I'm at today? And where am I at today? I'm sitting in my studio of my 3-story house. I was homeless. Lost custody of all 3 children that I had. One I had to leave at the hospital because CPS was very different back then. And it's okay, because once again, nobody had a gun to my head, right? So if you're struggling with some limiting belief inside that's holding you back, okay, from anything, I don't care if it's the most simplest thing, but it better not be. It better be a big thing, a C goal, because we should all have these C goals, okay? I don't care what it is. You want to take up ballroom dancing, you want to take up hula, you want to play music, beat Stevie Nicks in a band and play the fucking tambourine. I don't care. You want to be a president of a company. Guess what? I became a general manager of a construction company and I didn't even know. I mean, yes, did I know what a Phillips and a flathead was when I was young because of my brother? Yes, and a crescent wrench. I never knew I could run an environmental, has waste construction company like Tony fucking Soprano. And I did. I taught myself everything and I made that guy millions. Let's say it again. Scott, you know this. QuickBooks doesn't lie. I made him millions. Millions. Did I make millions? Guess what? I made my own millions off of the base of what he paid me. I'm very grateful for what he did for me, regardless of whether he's pissed. I put him as a chapter in my book, Devil Incarnate #2. We're still friends, but we're quite distant. At the end of the day, you can do any fucking thing you want to do. You can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, like Bob Proctor said. And as soon as I heard that at the ABCs of success, I told myself, okay, so, and I had a girl lean across from me at the table I was at a VIP table. I bought the ticket, $695 included meals back then. And Bob. And she looked at me, and this was after I got alone time with Bob. I snuck on stage. I wasn't supposed to. You know me, I don't listen, right? So what did I do? A girl told me, what about real estate? You seem to be very, powerful with that. And that's how my real estate career started. And I did it for 13 years until I was tired of being a landlord because I wanted to manage everything myself like a control freak. We've removed the clutter. And we have since sold all the rentals, the real estate, right? And I am using those funds allocated so that I can take care of mom and work from home. Not only doing the speaking, I'm a CEO, remember? I do CEO, CFO. I'm a what they call a fractional C-suite level executive. Who's the perfect client for me? Or who is someone who would be aligned who I could work with? A business owner, preferably small, not huge corporate, although it could be. Sometimes there's too much red tape with that. Decision making's tough. But if I could sit down with a business owner, or maybe they're a partnership and they're struggling because they want to be a good person to their employees and be friendly and this and that, but they can't stand up to the employee, and the girls are on the TikTok painting their nails, or like on the phone with the boyfriend or in the bathroom texting, and they have no control. I'm good to bring in because what I bring into the company is an organic technique that motivates people, pushes people out that don't want to be there and that we really don't want them there anyway, and gets everything tight so that you're like riding that horse, okay? And you're holding on and it's just a tight rein. You got it nice and tight. And I don't let go. I come back in and do refreshers so that people know I'm still lingering in the background. And that way they're supporting the owners, right? As best as possible. So that would be a good client. Another client would be maybe someone who can't think of ideas for their business and they're just stumped and they're tired of hiring marketing people. Once again, self-taught, sales and marketing. I've been in almost every industry. I'm not going to run it down. Self-taught. I put myself through college. I paid for everything myself, because where was I going to get it from? Nobody's coming. No one's coming on a white horse to save me. No one but me. Okay. So there's resources you can look at, but truly there's going to be a QR code that you can scan with your phone. And the best way to reach me, especially with the way, and I'm not doing any kind of conspiracy, we're not talking politics, okay? I'm going to say this. Sign up with the QR for the email so that way we can have real contact, because we all know social media is volatile right now. Your Facebook can get taken away in an instant. Your Instagram, your TikTok, just by one little whatever. If you forgot, maybe you had somebody's music and you didn't realize, or you bought the music from who cares? Right now, it's better to have communication. So anyone you hear speak, always go to their website and sign up for whatever they got. I got free books. If you email me and say, hey, I want the Audible, I saw you as speaking at this thing, give me your name, tell me what state you're from. When I'm in the state, maybe we can sit down and have coffee. Maybe we can just do a Zoom. Who knows, right? I hold webinars. I have subscriptions for people that don't have time and they just want to do quick check-ins and meet other people. I've got networking groups. This is all virtual now. I have so many people in my contact list I haven't even leveraged yet, and they're always messaging me. As I said, I had a distraction or two, and we're moving right along. Anybody in Hawaii needs me to come speak on any island. Well, let's narrow that down to Kauai, Maui, Oahu, or the Big Island. I will be there, okay, soon. March through April. Any type of, I'll come and speak if I can fit it in, okay, in any genre. Real estate, construction, the unions, medical, solar, whatever. It doesn't matter because my talk can be aligned with any industry. So, Pramika, can you, I'm not sure how much time I have left. If I've taken up too much time, I would like to open it up to see and put my glasses on if I can answer just a couple of questions. But truly, the QR code, get in touch with me, klifedesign.com, KLIFE design.com. K-Life Design stands for Kavaiola Life Design. Hold on a minute.
Yes, Kimberly, thank you so
Yes.
much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We have gained a lot of knowledge from your topic, and we have a question from our audience, Kimberly.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask you one of them. What inspired you to create the Anything is Possible for All philosophy?
Well, that came in one of my darkest hours. And I'll be honest, I know it seems like, why would she go backwards? It's not going backwards. I was reevaluating myself and asking myself, why do I feel like I could jump off a cliff and just not want to be here anymore over a child I left at the hospital who I became friends with? And we built this relationship, and he's telling me these horrible things. He doesn't feel good about him. That's why he's doing it. So I have to talk through that myself. And then I tell myself, AIP, I've been telling myself anything's possible for a while. But once I realized if I can do it, all the things I've done, anybody can do it. I'm telling you, I have so many certifications. I don't even know. I don't. And I know I'm not as smart with the, I shouldn't say it like that, but I'm not as quick with numbers in my head. But if you give me a calculator, I was in charge of accounting. Me, of all people, in all the positions I've ever been in, which is why I promote the CFO title. So anything is possible for all came from a moment of not suicide, but a thought of not wanting to be here. And I told myself, nope, not going to do it. I got to keep going. That's where it came from.
That was a great philosophy, Kimberly. And I want to ask you another question. What limiting beliefs do you see holding most people back?
Themselves. Because why? Because we look at ourselves in the mirror and some of us look away. There's a mirror exercise. Go Google it, go look at it. The Proctors talk about it. When I say the Proctors, Bob Proctor's children, the whole Proctor family, wonderful people, but I am mentored by them. And they have an exercise that's not just from them, but Brian's wife, Corey Proctor of Proctor's Principles, is like, you have to do the mirror exercise and talk to yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I am this badass bitch. I know I can do what I'm doing. I have been told horrible things to break me down. I've been told, like I told you, fat, wrinkly. My own son telling me I look 68 years old. Do I look that old? No, I don't. And why am I listening to someone who doesn't really have a job? Sorry, no. You have to tell yourself, they are not part of I cannot control what they say. I cannot control what other people think about me. Who cares? Post as many times as you want on social media, okay? If it makes you feel better and because you're showing up for you. So you are holding yourself back. So look at yourself in this mirror exercises. You're not going mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of them all? You're like, Kim Kano. Wake up. Why are you doing this when you could be helping 10,000 women not get their ass kicked instead of listening to this dude who's bringing you down and telling you you'll never be this famous author? That I don't want to be famous. I want to help people. I want to help people. That's what limiting beliefs is. It's us holding us back. It's other people that plant the paradigms. It's even my mom, 1932. She tells me stuff. I have to stop her in her tracks. Cut it out. This is 2026. So to answer your question, it was loaded, but limiting beliefs is, I deal with that every day. Every day.
Thank you so much for answering the questions. And thank you so much for your valuable time today, Kimberly. And please be on the backstage and join the next session.
I will. Thank you so much for having me. Mahalo. Look me up. I'm Kim Kano, the Real Wise Marie. Aloha and mahalo.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.